Oh boy. Yeah, I thought I would never live to see the day, but Jon Stewart has gone full Wokester. It's very unfortunate. I remember growing up. I love Jon Stewart. I wasn't old enough to appreciate it, but when I was a tiny child, Jon Stewart used to do stand up, and his stand up routine was excellent. His presence on the stage was just phenomenal. The guy is insanely talented. That's there's no disputing that. However, times have changed. It's now the year 2022, and he's gone full Wokester. I got some really funny tweets popped up here. I don't know what's going on here. I have never once made this hand gesture in my life. It says Toolie D, and he's like rubbing his hands together. It looks like he's scheming, like he's got like this sinister plot in mind, and he's about to execute it. And all the participants involved are they're completely unaware of what's to come. But Jon Stewart knows, because he's being all sneaky and deceitful. I don't know what's going on with this hand gesture. It just seems really dishonest. I think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez also did the same thing. She's another schemer. But we're gonna be watching this video here, and we're gonna be responding to it. So Jon Stewart is too woke for Cory Booker, which is, by the way, wrong. That's completely wrong, and we're gonna get into that in a second. His anti-white farmer rant is even too much for the New Jersey senator, which isn't true. But let's just go ahead and watch this, and we're gonna react to it.
Ways.
So yeah, just quick context. Jon Stewart is speaking with Senator Cory Booker, another huge dorky wokester. He's a theater kid essentially. So let's just go ahead and watch.
Ways. And so he came in. I said, hey, look, we got a crisis. Very few black farmers are existing. Do something about it. He did something about it. It was my legislation.
And my point is, what happened to that legislation?
It got stopped.
That's my point.
Because we have a Supreme Court, and that we knew
it got stopped because
of legal
white
challenges.
Resentment.
Yes.
White farmers felt like resources were being taken away from them and given to people
because
who
some people. Again, when you say white farmers, if I'm a white farmer, listen to this in Iowa, I'm thinking to myself, Jon Stewart's calling me, Jon Stewart is blaming me for stopping Booker's legislation. That's not true. But some people...
They did stop that legislation. They sued the federal government because that legislation, that piece of legislation, was 100% discriminatory. It violated the civil rights of white Americans, of these white farmers. That's not... Is it resentment to want to be treated equally under the law? Let's just finish the rest of this really quick.
Stop that legislation.
Right.
And my job, who wants to help black farmers.
What about white farmers? Why do you only want to help one group of people, one specific demographic, instead of representing all Americans? By the way, I don't know what farmer is he fucking representing. He's from New Jersey, but still, it's like, really? Like, this should be disqualifying behavior. That statement in a sane world should be 100% disqualifying. He should be removed from the Senate, or at the very least, he should lose his next Senate run, or whatever it is he tries to do. This guy should be disqualified from public service. Honestly, let's finish.
Who've been built off of their land is to go back to work with the Biden administration, write new legislation that could withstand a legal challenge. Ways.
Yeah, so at the very end there, he was saying that, by the way, a source citation needed, that a specific group of farmers are being bilked off their land. They were hoodwinked or something. I don't know what he's talking about or what he's referencing, but he's suggesting that non-white farmers were abused in some way. They were mistreated in some way. They were disadvantaged in some way. And again, where's the citation is necessary, to support such a statement. Again, and they don't have the arguments. They don't have any evidence to support these claims. Otherwise, the stupid legislation might have passed. But this is Jon Stewart in the year 2022 saying that a piece of legislation failed because of white resentment. The white farmers likely did sue, and I'm just assuming that the plaintiffs in that legal challenge, they were white, they were certainly farmers, and they were 100% correct to feel discriminated against by their own government. And now Cory Booker is like, oh well, I want to help only this group of people and only them because they've been bilked off their land or whatever. And again, in my opinion, this is disqualifying behavior. This is disqualifying. Those are disqualifying statements, plain and simple. There's no other way to put it. He wants to treat a segment of the population differently from another segment of the population. And again, I don't know about you guys, but I grew up being told that we should all be treated equally. We should all be treated, shown respect and kindness, and we should be fair and courteous and all that. But this isn't it. This is not it. We're seeing something completely different. One from a U.S. senator and another a public, a well-trusted at one point. I think a lot of people were just like, we're done with Jon Stewart forever. And to that I say, good. I'm done with him. I remember growing up, man, I wanted to be like Jon Stewart. I looked up to this guy. It was before I got blacklisted from the industry and whatnot, but I used to look up to this guy. And now what I see is a bigot. I see a racist. I see a liar. I see a dishonest partisan hack. That's what's on display here. And then, of course, Cory Booker making it very clear, doing the identity politics thing, making it very clear that he wants to pass legislation that favors one demographic over others, over the rest of them. I'm wondering how something like that would ever survive any legal challenge, but I'm just not really thinking about it. But they plan to, the Democratic Party, because Cory Booker, that fruitcake, this guy is a Democrat, and he is planning to introduce legislation that courts favor with one specific group of people. They're going to give them money. They're going to give them all these shiny toys or whatever that is that they're going to do. They're going to give them, special treatment simply because of the color of their skin. And everybody else who pays taxes, who is not a part of that demographic, they're going to have to subsidize this racist legislation if it passes, if it survives, the legal challenges, et cetera, et cetera. So all the more reason to vote, you guys. We got to get out there and we got to vote. I know, President Trump and a handful of other people were saying, things about the election, about it, not being on the up and up, which it certainly wasn't. But that scared a lot of people out of voting and showing up, especially in Georgia. Even though things happened the way they did, the way that they did in Georgia, I don't think it's the end of the world. I think, if anything, it was a good thing, because David Perdue sucks and Lori Loeffler, whatever her stupid name is, she sucks too. So nothing of value was lost, and it is what it is. But the midterms are coming up. The year is going by really quick. Right now, as I'm making this video, we're in April, so we got to get out there. We got to tell people that these are the conversations that are being had by members of the Democratic Party. These are the conversations being had by the so-called elites, by the rich, the privileged. They're talking about taking tax money from pretty much everybody and giving it to one specific group of people for whatever reason. I don't know what purpose it serves. Jon Stewart he's wrong. But this type of legislation that was struck down by the Supreme Court, it is breeding resentment. There is growing resentment and tension being created among these populations, among these different groups, because of what these politicians are doing, what the Democratic Party is doing. They're dividing people up. And you have one group saying, hey, how come they're getting special treatment? How come they're being they get all these shiny toys and they're getting all this free money and all this free stuff, and why are we paying for it? Don't we get anything? And and it's like, oh, it's because of the color of their skin. That's why they're getting all these special things. And it's like, the government is not impartial anymore. It's become a joke. This is Jon Stewart now. This is Jon Stewart. He was a voice of reason at one point. He was one of the funniest people on television at one point. He was a lot of fun to listen to. He was if those who are older than me, who had the privilege to see him do stand up, I mean those are really lucky people, man. Because Jon Stewart was fucking hilarious, but he was a lot better sitting down. I forgot which comedian. He's like, they were rating like the best comedians that existed at the time, and they're like, oh, Jon Stewart, don't stand up, sit down. And it wasn't snarky or pejorative. He was giving him career advice. Sit down because you're better at the desks than you are doing stand up. And he was a really, really good stand-up comedian. But now he's a hack. I mean, he wasn't even this bad during the Trump administration. You know, he gave kudos and praise to President Trump for supporting the New Yorkers who were, impacted medical-wise from the fallout of the 9/11 terrorist attack by those Muslim terrorists. Jon Stewart, this all started happening recently. So I don't know. In my opinion, I feel like he is looking at public service. He is looking to possibly run. He's talking with some of the figureheads of the Democratic Party, like Cory Booker, and he's getting involved again. This guy retired. He retired to go live on a little farm and like pet animals and shit. And now he's he's back into the fold, and he is super woke now. Unfortunate. Let me know what you guys think about this new Jon Stewart, the super woke Jon Stewart, who does this odd hand gesture. I don't know what it means. I'm going to Google what his real name is, and maybe I can infer something from that, but I don't know. All right, guys. Peace out.